Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Kimbo here, and it's time for an epic Bakugan Legends episode review. So we got episode 3 up in here. I will give y'all the courtesy, you know, 5 seconds if you haven't seen it and don't want any spoilers. But yeah, so now we got to get into it, dude. I'm loving this series so far, man. 13 episodes with it in total, so you know there's a lot happening with every single episode and moving along pretty quickly with things. And it makes sense, with it being the shortest season of the actual, of the series. But yeah, so getting into this, it's basically Dan and Magnus starting it off brawling. So focusing on, the Nova cores, like mastering the Nova cores and such. So they move around and everything, and when you hit them, it's kind of like a little bit like Russian roulette. It appears, anyways. With the cores. So it seems like they're all the different gimmicks are going to be with this. So fusion, strength mode, maybe speed mode. Maybe I don't know if I like the speed mode, but at least fusions, strength mode, maybe speed mode, Baku gear, nanogon, So yeah, with them. So major boosts, and at first, like Dan's trying to, he's trying to do the fusion, but then it ends up as strength mode. So he didn't fully master it, and they're like, "That's still a fail, dude. Like you might have hit the core, but it's not exactly what you wanted." And then Magnus is sitting there making fun, like just playing fun, poking at it, like you all need to master it. Basically doing like the whole like Background Academy approach where you're sitting there like kind of being a teacher, but at the same time like just like y'all has so much work to do. That sort of thing. But at the same time being an ally. And Leah points out like it's not only Dan, it's all of us that have to learn this, and figure this out because they got to get ready for the battle judgment with Hinoge. Because if they don't perfect everything and such, they're screwed. Like for real, there's no second chance with this, man. And they got a short amount of time to where they can do this, because like I said, no second chance. But yeah, so getting into it, we have all the different characters. So basically, it starts off with Magnus kind of perfected it a little bit. He knows the basics of it. So Shun's actually looking at a piece of footage and looks at the cores and figures it out. So there's different patterns. So there's a pattern for each of them. So a pattern for the strength mode, a pattern for the nanogon, a pattern for the Nova gear, a pattern for the fusions, a pattern for the Geogon. I think it's like a straight line is for yeah, I'll try to get it myself. I think the fusions are a straight line. The ones that pause are another one, but like I know I can't remember which ones like specifically they are. I think so there's a straight line, there's the one that pauses, there's the one that turns around kind of like in a U, there's the one that goes in a zigzag, and there's the one that goes in a circle. As far as I know, those are all the different ones. I can't remember like the exact like pairing up for it. Over time I'll pick up on it, just with the first episodes. But there's different ways, and once you like practice it and read the cores, you can figure out which one's which. And that's what they have to master and figure out which one they're actually going after. you know so they each have their own ways of doing it, and it's using the actual aspects of life, which I really enjoy this because it's like using like real life actual like aspects within themselves to help them get stronger. So first off, we see a Jeet. So a Jeet's with Feral, and then a Jeet has one of those magic balls that when you move up, it makes it look like the illusion of like it actually moving or such because how your hands are. It's about just like the balance of mentality and everything and physical strength and such with it. The balance, Arliss, balance, a Jeet. It makes full sense that they did this one for him. But yeah, So while he's sitting doing that, he actually figures out a way to master the phenomena. So he faces off against Lightning in a battle. While like Pharaoh faces off against Howlcore in a battle, and then he actually figures it out. He figures out which one it is, throws it out, calls it, and he's mastered the Nova cores. He's mastered the Nova cores. So Ajit manages to do so. Magnus already picking up on it, but Ajit figuring out how to do so. After that, Lightning's like, we can't get left behind, and he goes and trains with like a master, quote unquote master. It's another dog and such, and he's sitting there playing catch with him, And at first he's like, Howlcore's like, how is this gonna help? And then he asks if like he can learn how to catch, and then the master's like, no, don't get cocky. You have to learn. You have to learn before you can learn how to throw. You have to learn how to catch. So then he catches, and then he learns how to throw it back and everything. And then with that, figures out like the Nova phenomena, because you gotta have that accuracy and such to all your throws and everything. And this is how they're doing so, just with each character in their own unique way. So obviously playing fetch with lightning makes full sense in this case, and the master saying you've done well, youngster. But yeah. And then we got Leah, and Leah's way of figuring it out with Pegatrix is looking at her own data and she sees what she does wrong with her throwing. So with her actual throwing, she'll sit and she'll be moving while she throws, so she doesn't really lock onto her target. She's mainly focused about like the running and the throwing, but it's about like sitting back and being patient, because like how her style is, it's like just going for broke, like pretty fast paced, but sitting back and just waiting for it too, for the right moment. But while she's doing this, there's Marco. Marco shows up and he has his two Bakugan. He's sitting there blowing kids at the park, and that's one thing I enjoy about this. Even with this being the last season and such, being a shorter season, they're still tying in older characters. We saw Chad with the previous episode. We're seeing Marco with this one, so that's really really awesome to see. Still tying in characters that we even saw with like season 1, which is really really freaking cool. It's one thing I really enjoy with it, man. They still have that continuity to where they're bringing in characters that we saw from even the first season, which I definitely love that for sure. But in the middle of the battle with Marco, facing off against the two Bakugan, he has to be patient and such. Pegatrix is sitting there getting hit a bit, but then being patient, waiting for Fusion Core to come around. Had to wait for that one to show up. Finally does. She throws it out. Like she throws out Pegatrix, and she throws her out, and then gets the fusion, takes out both of them at the same time. So she mastered her, her Nova Gear skills. So that's what, 4 technically of them down. Well, yeah, majority of them at this point down. Then we got Winton, and with Winton, he I might be like saying I'm out of order, but it's throughout the duration of both these episodes, like the whole entire episode. But Winton, he's spending time with his little brother and little sister. They gone to the carnival and such, and he used to be known as like a skee ball champion, like a skee ball legend. Man, was dude's good at skee ball. You already know, man. Winton's really good at skee ball. I wonder if Devin could play skee ball big time. Probably, he's probably really good. But yeah, so while he's sitting there playing skee ball, he misses a few of the first rolls, but then he sits and thinks about that and like how he used to be so good at it and make all the shots and everything playing skee ball all the time, that it helped him master his rolls and such, and get into it, and in turn figure out the Nova phenomenon, because he's sitting there bang on with all of his rolls and everything. So Winton's mastered it. Yeah. And then after Winton, we get Shun. I think he's the last one left to really describe. Yeah. So we get Shun, and before Shun, there's Magnus. Magnus is literally just sitting training in he's training in a warehouse, and then he sits there and he fully masters it on his own by himself. And he's like, I fully mastered the entire phenomenon. Now it's just for the awesome brawlers. Yeah, but then after that, we get Shun. After we get Shun coming in. So Shun's with Masato. They made a new baseball stadium, and with that baseball stadium, they wanted somebody to throw the first pitch. First, Shun asked if Masato could do it, and Masato was like, I would, but I have a big time meeting that I have to go to, and it should be somebody that's within the Kazami family. So, then he goes and he practices, and then there's this big time, really good professional player. I think his name's like Ortega or something like that. I'm thinking Pokemon with Ortega, like some name along those lines, But this famous baseball player, yeah, I was thinking like, what is that? Like Pokemon Team Star? I think Ortega is his name or something. Yeah, that's maybe what I'm thinking of. But like it's along those lines. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but Okada, maybe. I think. But I'm also thinking of wrestling with that one. So maybe it's Okada. I think it's Okada. But regardless, he's really good at batting and really good at throwing. He's good, with both. So, he like Shun wants him to teach him how to like actually pitch. So at first he couldn't get it down or such, but then he's like, put your body into it, like professional level, just throwing with this. So he has to throw this pitch. You can't have a second chance with the pitch. You got to get it like line drive first time. And he's like, well, practicing with him, with a professional baseball player, it'll help me master the Nova course. So then he goes out for the pitch. He's like, I got one chance for this. Winds up, throws it straight down the middle, strike, fastball. Your boy Shun done did it, man. He did well. And then he looks up at like Okada or like whatever his name is, up in the stands. He's cheering him on and everything. So yeah, that was pretty cool and a nice little like feel good moment right there. Even the storytelling, like the brief storytelling with it, like a new character coming in, the training with them and everything, and introducing that character. That's sick, man. Even just doing so much in like such a short time, it's difficult to do for sure. Like short time storytelling like that ain't easy to do for sure. So yeah, then he masters it. Then lastly, we get Dan. Well, Dan, everybody's calling Dan saying like, "Yo, I mastered it. Hey, I mastered it, Dan. I did it." And then he's like, "You too? You mastered it? You mastered it too?" And then Drago's like, "What should we do, Dan?" And then he's like, "Well, I need somebody to practice with in order to figure it out. Where's Athena?" Because he was like training with Athena at the beginning part, but then Athena went off. But then Athena is going back to the academy and goes into Faustus's office for the first time in a long time. And while Athena was in there, McHugh was actually in there. So McHugh's in there snooping through all of Faustus's stuff, just looking for stuff, and he finds a hard drive. He didn't know what it was or anything, but Athena's like, "I need that." No, like caught him red-handed, and then like, "Oh, this must be important. Well, I better just skedaddle." Jumps out the window, starts running. He trips, and then like Athena corners him, and then says, "Brawl me." So they get into a brawl and everything. Cycloid versus Blitz Fox. Pretty intense battle, but then in the middle of it, Athena has to really like dig within her, like within herself, like not like having that spirit of like not backing down from a challenge no matter what or any crowd talk or anything like that. She's not one to ever back down. That's just like a part of her personality and her demeanor in general. She goes for it all the way, man, big time. And like with that, she managed to master the phenomena as well. Like the Nova cores and everything. Um, so yeah, yeah, dude, it was just about like finding her own spirit and everything and focusing on like how she used to, and she got it because she's always had those big time skills in her. Athena's talented as hell. But yeah. Then she gets the nano gear. No, she got a Geogon. I'm pretty sure. I think. Yeah, I think she got a Geogon, and then managed to take out McHugh and get the hard drive back. But at the end of it, like Dan shows up and it was like Athena, and then she turns around, and she has the box, and Dan was like, What's this about?" And then she like shows out the hard drive and says, "This hard drive right here has a lot of the things that Mr. Faustus researched, and even his research into the Nova Bakugan. This could be one of the keys that help us to fix the inductor and seal Hinoge." And then it ends with Dan being like, "What?" Like all surprised and everything. So yeah, I mean, that's the basic gist of the entire episode. I think I got it out like in a pretty brief time period this time around. So, yeah, I like going into the details with everything, but a lot of this was like straightforward. All of them learning how to like master the Nova phenomenon in their own ways, and that's one thing I enjoy. Not just like, oh, hey, big time training or such. It's like actually like how even real life things, like everyday things that you do can help inspire some of the things like within your mind and stuff, and use that as training or everything. Like some people just use their everyday routine and everything as strength and training and such. Like, when I go to work, I go and lift big time. When I wake up, I'm constantly going around doing stuff. I mean, when it gets warm, I go on the walks and stuff. Just using everything as just like training to get stronger and everything, you know? But yeah, kind of like that sort of approach with it and such. So I like seeing just how they do the everyday type of style with it. But yeah, man. So, anyways, guys, I mean, that's basically the whole gist on episode 3. So definitely the big time thing is now everybody's mastered the phenomena except for Dan. It seems so. Dan hasn't fully mastered it yet. I'm guessing probably the next episode is where he's gonna fully master it and such, and then we're gonna get some big time development with the battle judgment. Because it's so short notice and everybody's learning how to do it and such. There's not much leeway or room for things besides like these big time battles, because there's going to be development with like a lot of characters and the battles and everything. Because 13 episodes, so going into the fourth one is probably going to be like more of the development. Maybe we might find out like somebody who knows picks. You know, besides that, it's definitely going to be focused on Dan mastering the phenomenon and such. Magnus is probably going to go in and roast the hell out of this man and be like, "You haven't learned it. All of your teammates have learned how to do this, but then you done being Dan Kuzo, haven't learned it yet. Pathetic. Just probably something like that. Oh man. Oh, I gotta love it. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's basically it for this review on Bakugan Legends episode number 3. Trace. But hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content because I upload daily. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. Also, I know it's a little dark in here. It's just starting to get dark outside, so I made it way darker in here and everything. But yeah, so with the next one, you'll see the lights on and everything in here. Just, yeah, it got dark really quick. But anyways, guys, till next time, it's your boy Kimbo signing off. See you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Till then, stay awesome. And Bakugan Brawl. I'm up out of here.